Hello and welcome to the show, and welcome to Serebryanyy Shtyk. These are the adventures of a Russian specialist unit tasked with combating otherworldly evils across war-torn Europe and beyond. I'll be using Sliver Bayonet solo rules with a random card activation for each unit member. This is the second scenario, Ruined Chapel. However, there will be some amendments to the scenario which is taken from the main rulebook. The main one is a substitution of Tomb Wraith for Vampire, but there'll also be a few extra clue markers. Mission: search the chapel and recover any items of interest. So let's meet the team. They're led by Baron Igor Jerkov. Attribute wise, he has great faith and is inspiring. Has a silver hand weapon, 2 pistols and silver shot. Ivan the Impaler is a veteran hunter. He's hard to put down. Has a silver hand weapon, a musket and silver shot. Known only as the Priest, the champion of faith has miracles and is a supernatural veteran. He carries a silver hand weapon and a holy symbol. Gorky is a grenadier. He carries a musket and silver shot. The remainder of the unit is made up of 4 infantrymen: Clanker, Clinker, Clonker, Clunker. What could go wrong with those names? They also carry muskets and silver shot. The unit is still equipped for fighting wolves and werewolves from scenario 1, so I may have to give them some help for this scenario. Having escaped the wolves, the Serebryanyy Shtyk press on deeper into the forest. As another day passes, the forest grows slowly denser. The trees begin to block out all the natural light. Finally, through the shadows, they espy the ruins of a small stone building surrounded by gravestones. But what's that? Figures are shuffling around in the graveyard. The Baron and his small team are moving up on this side of the chapel. We've got the Priest, Gorky, the Baron himself, and Clunker. Over to their right is Ivan the Impaler and Clanker, and further round to the right here is Clinker and Clonker. They're ready to move in. So first to move will be Gorky. They know the revenants can't be hit by missiles, so it's going to be straight to the cold steel. Gorky moves in straight for the kill. He's +1 for melee. 16, 17 for 8 points of damage. The revenant still lives, if you can call it living, and the revenant will strike back. He gets a +1. And that's a miss. Gorky will fall back. Baron activates. We'll move over here, ignoring the revenants for the moment. The Priest is up now. He will also follow the Baron. Clinker's up next, and he will move straight for that clue marker there. Needs an 8. Oh, he gets 10. What has he found? It's the 9 of spades, and that is a big bag of salt. Well, that's lucky for the Serebryanyy Shtyk, and there's enough to go round for everybody. The revenants are moving, they're shambling towards Gorky here. He's got +1 for melee, but he's fatigued, so it's net 0. 11 is not a good enough hit, and Gorky will strike back. 12 is a hit, he's net 0 because of that fatigue. 7 damage, and that revenant is killed again. This revenant turns around, starts to amble. This revenant moves in for the attack. Takes a swipe at Clinker, +1. That's a miss. Clinker will strike back, also +1. And that is 18 with 7 points of damage. The revenant will back away. These revenants will move here, lumbering towards the unit. Next up for the unit, it's Ivan. He's going to move straight for that clue marker there. Needs an 8. Easily gets that. It's the Ace of Spades, and he's picked up a strange candelabra, which gives him enchanted for melee attacks. Very useful for wraiths. Clonker. So Clonker's straight in for the kill with the Revenant. +1 for the attack. That is 17. Another 8 points of damage, and that's the Revenant gone. Lardy gets it. 5 is Clanker. He will move over here. And the last member of the unit to activate this turn is Clunker. And Clunker will steam in on this Revenant here. +1. That is a miss. Revenant will fight back. +1. Oh dear, that's 17 with 8 damage. And Clunker will back away, severely wounded. Right, it's the end of turn. Another Revenant pops up out of the grave. And unfortunately for the Serebryanyy Shtyk, a Tomb Wraith appears in the chapel. Look out, here they come. Ivan the Impaler, the veteran hunter, shouts out and reminds the rest of the unit. Bullets can wound the Revenants, but are unlikely to kill them. So Clunker will activate first this turn. He's badly wounded, so he's not going to charge in with Cold Steel. He will fire at this Revenant, heeding Ivan the Impaler's advice. +1 to hit. And that is a miss. He will reload. Next card up is Clanker. He will fire at this Revenant. +1 to hit. And that is a cracking 18 with 9 damage. He will move to attack. +1 melee. Needs to finish him off. He's got 14 with 8 damage, and that Revenant bites the dust. And it is Ivan the Impaler to activate now. He will move over here towards the clue marker by the chapel. And now it's the Baron. Well, the Baron will actually get to that clue marker. He needs an 8. He gets a 9 just. And he's found another big bag of salt with the King of Spades there. Quickly puts that away, and that's useful for fighting the Wraith. Monster's turn. This Revenant will rush, shambling quickly over to Clunker. +1 to hit. That is 13 with 5 damage, and Clunker is down. First major casualty for the unit. And the Revenants will move forward. And unfortunately for the Baron, the Tomb Wraith, being ethereal, will just go straight through the wall of the chapel and attack. The Wraith has +3 to attack. That's 9, 12. But the Baron's defense is 14, so he'll back off. Next to activate is Gorky. He will turn and face this Revenant, fire, gets a +1. Whoa, look at that. 9 points of damage on the Revenant. He's unloaded, but will go in with Cold Steel. Net 0, which will be 15, which is a hit, another 7 damage, and that Revenant's gone. The Priest. Here's the Priest. He was going to try and heal Clunker with a miracle, but of course he's now down. So, he's going to have to do something else. Priest will move over here, making his way over to the other corner of the graveyard. Next up is Clinker. Well, Clinker will activate, move to Clunker and give him some salt. No, I think that's all he can do, to be fair. Clunker's up next. He will fire at this Revenant. +1. That's 10, that's a kill. No, it's not. It's damage reduction of 4, so it's 6 damage on the Revenant. And he'll charge in with Cold Steel. +1 on the melee. 10 is a miss. The Revenant will strike back. He gets +1. Critical hit. Clunker takes 2 extra damage, 12, and that's him down and gone. The Revenant's good running amok. End of turn, and another Revenant pops up out of the grave right next to Ivan the Impaler. So Clunker and Clunker have gone. There's only 6 of the unit left, and Ivan the Impaler reacts first. Because he's so close to this Revenant, he can't really move and do anything else, so he'll have to attack him. He will shoot with +2, which is 12. That hits the Revenant, 6 points of damage, reduced to 2. He will close for melee. And he's on +2 for melee, which is 16, and another 4 points of damage. But the Revenant's still there and will fight back. He gets a +1. And that's a miss. Ivan backs away. Next card up is the Baron. Well, here he is, and to be fair to the Wraith, he's picked up a bag of salt last time, so he's got to load with that, which he'll do now, and fire. +1. 12. And that is a hit, and that is 9 points of damage. And the Wraith will disappear back to his grave. Jerkov is unloaded. And Gorky activates now. He will reload and move over here. He's on the hunt for other clues. Right, this Revenant here will close in on the Impaler. Net 0 for melee, which is 10, but Ivan's defense is 14. That's a miss. He will fight back at +1. There's 19, but 8 points of damage, and that Revenant has gone. Leave that fatigue marker with Ivan. Over this side it's a bit more desperate for Clinker. The first Revenant ambles forward and attacks him. +1. That is 12, and that's a miss. Clinker will fight back. Also +1, that is 9, that's a miss. The Revenant backs away. Next Revenant shambles in. +1. That's a bit cocky. 12, but that's not enough. His defense is 13. Clinker retaliates. Net 0. Oh, look at that. That is 18 with 9 damage. The Revenant backs away. Limbs hanging off him. The final Revenant shambles towards Clinker, who's doing a still work there. The Wraith attacks again, moves straight to Ivan. That's 3 to hit for the Wraith. Oh dear. Useless. 7. He misses. Now Ivan has the Candelabra and has enchanted melee, so he can fight back. He's got 2 fatigue. He's on net 0, and the Wraith only has 3 health left. That's 10. And that's not enough, so the Wraith has to back away. Next up is the Priest. Well, he's over here, not doing a great deal at the moment, but I think he's going to go move and see if he can help Clinker. And that is Clinker. Well, he's in some bother here. He's got 3 Revenants around him. He's got 2 fatigue, so I don't really want to put him into a fight, so I think he's going to have to run away. He will go over here. That's his full move, because this is rough ground, 6 inches, but he's going to try and sprint. Needs 11, which he doesn't get, so I think he goes another 2. Final activation will be Clanker. He will reload and go over to the Baron to get some salt. That is the end of the round. So the Revenant appears next turn, and like the Baron's activating now, he will reload and fire at the Wraith. +1 accuracy. He's got salt in his pistol. That's 12. Tomb Wraith's defense is 12. That's 9 damage, and the Tomb Wraith withers away. Next to activate is Ivan the Impaler. He will reload and move. And Gorky. Well, Gorky's going to come around here and get to this clue marker. Needs an 8. He gets it with 11. Queen of Spades is an enchanted knife, so that's 2 artifacts that the Serebryanyy Shtyk have picked up, and I think it's time to disappear. However, there's a few revenants around here that might have a say. This one will amble towards Ivan. +1. 14, that's a hit, and it is 6 points of damage. Ivan is hard to put down, so he's going to use one of the dice from the dice pool to see if he can reduce that damage. 2 rolls. 6 and 3. He'll take the 6, and he does well there. He will fight back. +2 on the melee, which is 13, and that's a hit with 8 points of damage. The Revenant backs away. Next Revenant moves in. That was a hit. 13, that's not enough. Ivan will fight back, +1. And that's a miss as well. The Revenant will back away. Ivan's getting tired. Final Revenant here comes in. +1. 11, that's not good enough. Ivan will fight back at net 0. And he gets 13, which is a hit and 5 damage. The Revenant backs away. Talk about a veteran hunter, what a fantastic effort there. Push back all 3 Revenants. And this Revenant here charge into the Baron. This one to hit. Oh, dreadful miss. Baron will fight back. He's +2. Which is 16. 7 points of damage on this Revenant, who will back away. Right, Clanker is up next. He's going to make his way off the table over here. He will sprint. And that's him gone. Now it's Clinker. He will do the same, run around here. And he'll sprint. And he's off the table. And the Priest. Well, the Priest hasn't been overly useful, to be honest. He's just going to disappear off the table. End of turn. But another Revenant will come out the grave. It's turn 5. First to move is Ivan the Impaler. Well, he's done a pretty good job. He is going to move over there and sprint, which he doesn't do, but he goes another 2 inches, and that's him off the table. This Revenant will move in on Baron. +1. Ooh, 18. 9 points of damage. And the Baron will have to negate damage there. He's got the skill dice. Whoa, would you believe it? All that damage is negated. He will fight back, +2. But he misses. The Revenant backs away. Look out, Jerkov. There's another one. +1. Which is 11. That's not good enough. The Baron will strike back. +1 because he's fatigued, which is 18, 7 points of damage. Revenant will back away. The other Revenants start to file forward towards the Baron. Next to activate is Gorky. Well, here he is. He's just going to move the 6 inches there, and he will sprint. Which he doesn't do, so we'll just go another 2. The final activation is the Baron himself, so he will move over there, and he will also sprint, trying to get off the table. He doesn't do that, so he's not quite there. It might not be over yet. Another Wraith appears. Alright, first to activate is Gorky. He will go 6 and sprint, which he doesn't do, so he just goes another 2. All these Revenants start shambling after the Baron, but he's going to outrun them. The Wraith goes after Gorky. The Baron's turn, and he's off the table. And that's the end of the turn. The next turn Gorky will activate first. He's the last man of the unit to get away, and he will move and go off the table, much to the disgust of the tomb wraith here. and the rest of the revenants shambling around, chasing after the Baron as he disappears. So well done, the unit. They did lose 2 of their members in this nasty little fight, but they've got away with the artifacts. So that's it. The Serebryanyy Shtyk now have to return to base. Mission accomplished. However, for that perilous journey, they will be without Clonker and Clunker, who are ripped apart by the revenants. Once again, they do well with the experience points and pick up a total of 8. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Tune in next time for the Troll Hunts. Thanks for watching.